Okay, so Phil, disappointing afternoon up here in Manchester this afternoon. Didn't really play, did we?
I would disagree with that. 100%. I enjoyed watching us today. I thought we were excellent in areas, and then we came up against a team that was quite resilient, that had more belief than us. And I think that's the difference between the two teams. Apart from the fact that they're middle of the table, if not higher, they're playing with a little bit more belief than what we are. So consequently, if people think we're not playing, then I would have an argument with anybody with regards to that. I think we played quite well today, but we never got anything from the game, and that's what the game's all about. And that's probably where your question's leading. The fact that we've played 2 games now against Buxton and Curzon, who are quite well known for the way they play in this division, and they're quite well versed at it as well. We looked a little bit naive at times. I'm sick to death of this basketball game that we're playing, where we attack and they attack, we attack, they attack. And it could have been, it was never a 1-0 game in a million years. It could have been 3-3, it could have been 4-3 to them, 4-3 to us. For me, it was one of them games that the first goal meant more to them, because it knocked the wind out of our sails, it knocked the belief, it knocked the stuffing to a certain extent. So, not in a roundabout way, in a quite a direct way, I would disagree with what you said.
So, do you think we've tested their goalkeeper enough today? Didn't seem to give him a shot to save it, hardly.
I think he, if the stats come back, I'll show you that he's made 6 saves, if not 7. Did we test him enough is a different argument. I think we had probably 2 or 3 half-decent chances in the second half. And in the first half, no, I thought we huffed and puffed in front of goal, if truth be known. But to be 1-0 down to a set piece was the disappointing thing. If I've got to nail anything or anybody, it's we've got to have a better mentality when we're defending corners or defending free kicks. If truth be known, again, the Buxton game, we had 16 corners to deal with, which is quite a high ratio. But I think they had 6 in the first half, and they got on the end of 4 of them. We had 7 in the first half, we got on the end of 2. So if you narrow that down to opportunity, if you like, because if you get the first touch, that's normally a sign that it either ends up a half chance or whatever. You would say they were more of a threat at set pieces than what we were, and that's not Curzon's game. Curzon are normally a little bit more better with the ball and more clinical with the ball. But an old favourite of mine, Charlie Weston, unfortunately got man of the match because he's the dominant one in midfield, and we didn't have that.
And let's talk about the goal then. Another disappointing one to let in. We didn't clear our lines, did we, from the set piece, and that second ball that you go on so much about, we didn't win, and they managed to pop it in. Disappointing, wasn't it? A
lot of people look at the first part of it, which Elliot Whitehouse's man's lost him and got to the back post. Elliot's held his hands up in there. But what I want from a changing room, and I'm hopefully going to create this over a period of time, excuse me, what I want from a changing room is if somebody makes a mistake, you bail him out. You actually, right, Elliot's missed the ball at the back post, the next person has to bail Elliot out, and then you have a go. And that for me is team spirit. That's the kind of spirit that I want in this changing room. And I don't think we've quite got it at the moment because of results going against us and where we are on the league table, and people look at that and get affected by it. The belief will come eventually when we start winning games, but at this moment in time we're suffering.
And once again, Phil, we seem to have come up against a team in Curzon Ashton who we're not a million miles away from, but like you say, we've come away with nothing again, and that's frustrating, isn't it?
Again, I'll go back to the belief of looking at a league table. I wish league tables didn't exist until the end of the season, where you are what you are. Having only won a couple of games this year, and that doesn't spread belief, that doesn't give you any kind of impetus when you're starting a game of football. But when you've got a foothold in a game, you just got to keep on doing the basics right. You've got to do the right things at the right time, and I think that's what we're learning to grasp what my basics are. And you've just said it. You keep on going on about second balls. Quite simple, second balls, doesn't matter what division you're in. In the Premier League, I said this: if we get the second ball, we play and the opposition don't. and we've got players that can play. So it applies at this level or the Premier League, you know. So right the way through the leagues, it's all about second balls. If you're starting to play from the back, which we can do, then it's a more controlled game. I get that part, but it also gives an opposition a little bit of a sniff of your goal. But when you've got a player of the stature of Ben Beresford up top, you can do both. Then that would confuse teams. You know, teams don't know whether to put a full press on or a low block. If we've got the opposition in one or the other camp, then you've got a chance, because they'll be confused to a certain extent. But it's picking the right pass out at the right time and making sure that you do the right things at the right time. And if that's play from the back, we do that, but we all do it. If that's hit Ben Beresford and play from second ball, then we do it, but we all do it.
More minutes for Shaq on the pitch, came off the bench again today. Looked great, I thought, looked sharp and got a great first touch, but didn't really get the ball to him enough, did we?
Not sufficiently enough. But at the same time, you know, Shaq's looking more and more lively. He's been out for a few months. He's had a 15-20 minute spell on Tuesday, and now all of a sudden he's had a 30-35 minute spell on Saturday. The medical people need to take a lot of credit for that, because it's been a long old road for Shaq, and it's not just anything to do with his career. It's a fact that, you know, he can hurt teams at this level in that position. So fingers crossed, hopefully he'll carry on getting the minutes, as it were, and maybe one day in the near future he'll be starting a game. And if that's the case, can he last 90 minutes? Then we'll see. But if not, 60-65 minutes from a starting position is probably what he's dreaming about at the moment.
And just finally, Kane Felix came on right at the end there, got about 5 or 6 minutes. What's your feeling there with Kane? He wasn't in the squad on Tuesday and then just got a few minutes today.
It's a decent squad in front of the back four, and what I mean by that is we have got a shortage of defenders, there's no doubt in my mind. We've got a midfield player that can play midfield and right back, who finished the game at right back. Marcel again looked a little bit laboured at times, but that would have been 3 games in a week from playing no games at all. You know, that would have been 3 games in a week. So that was the main reason why I took him off. But again, having a midfield player playing right back, then Foxy's come in for his first game in a while, and Richard's growing and learning on the job, which is a difficult place to do it. And then Connor Wood's had his second game of the season. So we're running short on defenders, and if truth be known, that's one thing that we've been trying to improve on and haven't been successful. You know, we've had many a conversation with defenders and with teams at the Premier League, teams in the Championship, first and second, about letting players out. But everybody wants to give you a 16, 17-year-old boy that's probably going to learn on the job, and that's not quite the centre half I'm looking for, you know. I'm looking to see if I can get an experienced one in. And if we do, all well and good. But I just said to Foxy and to Richard, if they had kept a clean sheet today, doesn't matter how many centre halves I bring in, they'll keep their place, they'll keep their shirt on Tuesday, and they'll carry on in that position. And I think that's the way to reward people. It's the only way to reward people. I'm asking them for a clean sheet, and they give me it, then they've got a chance. We get beat 1-0, it's a different argument.
So another long trip on Tuesday, then the rearranged game at Southport. I think the weather's set fair, no rain forecast, I think.
Well, we've had the referee that we had that day, we've already had him on Tuesday night, so it won't be him, I don't think. He struggled to make a decision to call the game off, but it was a no-brainer in my mind and in a lot of people's mind. But at the end of the day, we've got to go back there. They'll think they've got a score to settle because they were 2-1 up. I don't need to say it too many times, but I thought we would have getting something from the game. Whether it be a point or 3, it doesn't matter. But again, they're in the same position as us. It's a 6-pointer on Tuesday night, and we'll prepare properly for it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Phil. Hard lines today, and let's go again on Tuesday.
Thank you.